Tux. Tux is getting a beard, y'all. He's getting a gray beard. Tux, if you're new to the channel, Tux is my pit bull mix. I thought he was gonna be part lab, black lab, but the genetic test I did turns out he doesn't have any lab in him. Just mostly pit bull and other mixes like Doberman, Husky. But yeah, he's just so sweet. He's coming here getting his loves while he can. And there's the two puppies over there. Lucia. Lucia is the one with the blue collar. And she's my 1-year-old, Cane Corso. Taxi. Oh, he's got such pretty eyes. And then she's playing with the pure American Pitbull Terrier, puppy Gypsy. You know, we got some really nice, cool weather here in Texas Hill Country. Oh, Gypsy got it. Oh, Gypsy got it. And then, let's see here. That's Ozzy. Taking a rest because they were sparring pretty hard a minute ago. Ozzy's the alpha Cane Corso alpha male. He's about 5. And I'll show you Dolce in a minute. Dolce is my dominant female. She, yeah, she was pretty active a minute ago. She's taking a rest. Yes, my Tux. Yes, this is my Tux. Yeah. Oh, there's my Tuxie. Oh, man, Tux. He's a sweet boy. He's a sweet boy. Tux slept outside last night on the little lounge chair in the back. He has full access to get in the doggy door, to get inside through the doggy door, but he likes being outside a lot. Hey, Papa. He's my baby boy. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Cane Corso, and mostly in relation to other dominant breed dogs. Gypsy. This my Gypsy girl. This my Gypsy girl. What you got, Gypsy? So Gypsy here, like I said, she's pure American Pitbull Terrier. So with that breed, you know, comes certain characteristics, certain traits that are very common in the breed. And one of them being the dominant nature of them. They're very dominant by nature. Very intense. Very, I guess you could say confrontational. Especially with other dogs. They don't back down at all. They do not back down to a confrontation by nature. Now that being said, if you train them to back down when it's not appropriate to put up a front, then that's a different story. So you really have to intensely train them not to be aggressive, or I use the word confrontational. But yeah, so oh, look at this green grass. We're getting a lot of rain. Come on, Tex. Yeah, so that's the thing. When you have a Cane Corso dominant breed dog, you have to be very careful when you have other dominant breed dogs. And oh, she's eating the leaves of this sugarberry or hackberry tree. They love eating the leaves of this tree. They're very nutritious. Well, anyways, the thing is, other dominant breed dogs can pose a serious risk of, you know, a confrontation, a fight, when they commingle, when they are together in a pack. So I was taking a huge risk introducing another dominant dog, like a pit bull, into my pack. And I wouldn't do it if it was already a grown dog that I didn't raise. I think it would be too risky. So I've only introduced another pit bull mix, American Bully Pit Bull mix, Tequila, and as a foster puppy. But I saw the way that she was developing, she was going to be too dominant. So I couldn't take that risk with my pack. I had to rehome her. And she was a foster, so she found a really good home. But now with this pit bull, I also am taking a huge risk. But I got her as a puppy, and I handpicked her from the litter. I picked the one that I thought was going to be the least dominant of the pack, of the litter. But I still have to keep a close eye on her because she hasn't fully matured, so she could change at any moment, you know. But I'm trying to mold her into my pack to where she's not going to be very confrontational to my dominant female Dolce, who you don't see here yet. But if you've watched the channel, you know Dolce is a very dominant female Cane Corso. And so, you know, so that being said, I have to work on her constantly. And part of that is socializing her with other animals, even outside of my pack, because she's a pit bull. and of course, again, pit bulls are notorious for being borderline, if not fully aggressive, towards other animals, other dogs, because they were bred to fight. They were, or not, well, they were, it's in their genetics anyway. The history was they were bred to be fighting dogs. So that's in their genetics, but Lucia. What is it, baby? Oh, okay. Here, baby. She's trying to reach one of these leaves. Here, baby girl. And so part of that is I need to socialize her to other dogs. And what I plan to do is take her to, come here, baby, a doggy daycare. Take her to a doggy daycare. But I'll do that. I'll do that, you know, slowly after I what I'm going to do is take her to a pet store that has other dogs in the store too. It's nice to do this. It's ideal to do this when they're puppies, to where if they did become aggressive, they're still a puppy. They're not going to really kill another dog as a puppy. Oh, look, she's crawling down there so she can get the leaves. She has got the most beautiful eyes, y'all. They're like a gray blue. And so I know other packs, Cane Corso packs, that have, well, one personally, and I already told you all about his channel, is a colleague of mine that ended up getting Lucia's brother. He got a male from the same litter as the one I got Lucia from. And he has a brand new channel now called Storm and Rain. He named his male Rain, R-E-I-G-N. And Storm is a Rottweiler, a female Rottweiler that he already had. She's an adult now. So he introduced a dominant male, Cane Corso, as a puppy to his Rottweiler, full-grown Rottweiler female. And again, he introduced the dominant breed dog, Cane Corso, as a puppy. It's extremely risky if he were to introduce a fully grown Cane Corso into a home that already has a very dominant. Now, Rottweilers are extremely dominant, y'all. I would say as much, if not more so, than a Cane Corso. But comment down below if y'all anybody has a Rottweiler. Does anybody have a Rottweiler that's watching the channel? If you do, comment down below and let us know. Do you have other dogs with your Rottweiler? And how does that work? How's that working for you? Have you had any near accidents? Have you had any confrontations between your Rottweiler and your Cane Corso? So, one thing I mentioned, now, you have to be prepared. I mentioned this on a previous video. You have to be prepared for, you know, God forbid, if there was ever a real fight, between your two dominant breed dogs. Knock on wood, I have not had any real fight. And I've only come, I think maybe was going to be one, but very rare, if that there was ever going to be a real fight. But what I do to prepare myself is I carry a taser with me, a handheld, looks like a little flashlight, but it's a taser as well. Makes a really loud noise, and then of course can elicit a shock. And so I haven't had to use that, but in the event that there is a fight, I will have that on the ready. So that would most likely break up a fight. The other thing I wanted to tell you all about that I'm doing this. I did this because of at the recommendation of one of the viewers that commented on the video that I did when I showed the taser. Somebody commented and said another thing you could get is a cattle prong, which is it's basically like a taser, but the part that elicits the shock, it has two little prongs, and then you hold. It's a very long, like a wand, and so you don't have to get close to the animal. It's used for cattle, and for like herding animals to get them to go where you want them to go. And so it's just like a long stick with two little prongs that can elicit a shock. So I did order one last night. I think it's a great idea to also have that on hand. And what I'll do is I'll just keep it in the backyard, in the area, in what I call the mosh pit, where most of my dogs, they do their sparring every day. And so I have it hung up on a nail by the tree or something like that. And then the advantage of that is that it's longer, so it lets me stand further away from a potential fight if it ever did develop. They're over here eating their salad. And so I have those two forms of mediators for fight. And so, but yeah, so you have to be prepared. I would say if you do have two dominant breeds, even if you have more than one Cane Corso, really if you have any other dog in your pack and you have a dominant breed dog, there's always the potential for a fight. But it's just so much more increased if you have two dominant breed dogs that coexist together. Going back to that cattle prong and the taser. So I don't regularly walk my dogs in the neighborhood because I have about 2 acres of land that they get plenty of exercise on. I used to, before I moved to this area with the land, I used to walk my dogs. But for those of you who do walk your dominant breed dog, carrying a shorter cattle prong or, a taser is not a bad idea because when you own a dominant breed dog, what I have noticed, and if y'all own a dominant breed dog, and if you've noticed the same, comment down below. But what I've noticed is when I used to walk them, other dogs recognize the breed as being dominant. They recognize the dominance in the dog, and they become confrontational. So it's not uncommon for other dogs in the neighborhood that are being walked that try to confront your dominant dog. It's not uncommon. So and sometimes owners will not have their dog on a leash. Either that, or there's risk of that dog breaking from the leash and approaching your dog. So it's also not a bad idea to have a taser on hand for that situation, because you could be you could be doing everything right. You got your dog on a leash, but you can't control what other people's dogs are doing. And I have a story that I've told before Oh, this made me so mad. It still makes me mad even talking about it. I was walking Ozzy. This is before I had my other dogs. It was just Tux and Ozzy. And when I lived in a smaller suburban neighborhood, I would sometimes take Ozzy and Tux for a leash walk in a park. It was a park that allowed dogs, but the dogs had to be on a leash. And there was clearly a sign that said that. But so it was a big park-like setting with trails and everything. And I had Ozzy on the leash. I was walking him. And this lady had her smaller dog off leash. I guess she figures because the dog is small, it's not going to be a threat, so she can have it off leash. And so they're coming towards us, and her little dog is approaching us, and she yells out to me, "It's okay, he's friendly." And I'm thinking, I don't doubt he's friendly, but he's about to get hurt. So I yelled out to her. I said, "Yes, but my dog is not friendly to other dogs that it doesn't know. So, you know, your dog might get hurt if it approaches my dog." And I forgot the wording I said, but it was something that was to that effect. So she had the in her mind, she was thinking that I was scared of her dog coming at me, but no, lady, I'm scared that your dog's gonna get killed. Because my dog is not gonna have another dog run up on me like that. So yeah, so that's a perfect example. And that happened more than once, y'all. It was very common for these. It's usually the little dogs that owners don't feel that they need to put them on a leash. And you're out there in the public walking your big dog, and the little dog, every time they come approach your dog, and then of course it's always the big dog's fault, right? At least that's how people see it. So, and especially if you have a pit bull, it's always going to be the pit bull's fault in the eyes of the public. Yeah, the gypsy. So, just little things that I'm learning, and that I've taken steps to be prepared when things that you can do, you know, when you own a really dominant breed like this. But yeah, I would say, you know, for people that have more than one dog, if one of your dogs is a dominant breed, like a Rottweiler, like a Pitbull, like a Cane Corso, and definitely if you have more than one dominant breed in a pack, there are extreme precautions that need to be taken because of the you know, extreme risk of a fight. Yes, pretty eyes, pretty girl. Taxi. Now, also you can talk about another risk of a fight is having two dominant dogs of the same gender, like two females, two males. So the reason I do have two males in my pack, but the reason that is not as much of a risk as a fight is because the temperament of Tux. Like you saw in the beginning of the video, he's just super laid back. He's super chill, not confrontational at all. In fact, he's the opposite. He's very docile. He'll roll over in a submissive position for anyone. He is prey driven, so he'll you know, if there's anything approaching the yard that's an animal, well, he's actually very friendly to other dogs, but if it's like a deer or something, or a rabbit or a cat, he wants to go attack it. He's extremely prey driven. I call him the Jekyll and Hyde personality because he's a killer when it comes to other animals, prey type animals. But yes, I'm sorry, I'm giving you away. You weren't supposed to tell them that. Yep, sorry, Tux. Spilling your secrets. He is a killer. I've seen him kill cats. When I went out to, I did a recent video when I went out to East Texas to my dad's house. I usually don't like to take Tux there because on prior visits, Tux has killed a couple cats, stray cats in the neighborhood. Remember once I took him out there and I was taking him out to go potty. He broke from the leash, ran after a cat, and all I remember is seeing white fur flying everywhere, and he killed this beautiful white cat. So definitely when I take him out there, I try to avoid it, but the last time I took him, I had no choice. I didn't have a sitter, so I had to take him, but I had to keep him on a leash, very tight leash. So, yeah, dogs, man. Gypsy. Gypsy dear. So the other day, Dolce, the dominant female, she's the black Cane Corso, beautiful dominant female. I would say she's second in command to Ozzy as far as the dog hierarchy. She's the beta, he's the alpha. She had a confrontation with Gypsy, the little pitbull puppy, and she was doing this. Dolce was doing this dominant maneuver where if you see a dog kind of walking right next to another dog, kind of in a circle, kind of corralling them and putting their neck over the other dog's neck, that's a show of dominance, and that's what Dolce was doing to Gypsy. And so Gypsy wasn't having it. Gypsy, her whole body became really stiff, and she started shaking a little bit and giving a low growl. And to me, that's a red flag sign of a fight's about to break out. Now, she is a puppy, so she probably would submit to Dolce being the dominant adult dog, but that's I had to quickly diffuse that immediately. And what I did was I corrected Dolce, and then I corrected Gypsy both, and diffused the situation. So yeah, that's something I gotta watch like a hawk, because if two adults like that, you know, that's extreme risk of a fight developing. And I make sure that Gypsy and Dolce kind of, you know, play with each other, get along. They sleep next to each other. I try to foster a good relationship between them, so that there's not constant animosity between them within the pack. But yeah, y'all, I'm curious to hear what y'all have in your packs, or your experiences. If you've ever had two dominant breeds together, and have you ever had a fight? What did you do to break it up? What do you do to prevent it? And yeah, especially if y'all have had anybody out there own a Presa Canario. Presa Canario looks just almost exactly like a Cane Corso, with something out there barking, with subtle differences. Or a Dogo Argentino, Argentinian Mastiff, or a Boerboel, South African Mastiff, Rottweiler, German Shepherd, Pitbull. All those are the dominant breeds, common dominant breed dogs. Any of y'all out there own one of those breeds and have more than one dominant breed? Here's my tugs. Say, I'm just waiting for my breakfast. There's my tugs. Yeah, comment down below. And what's your experience with that? See my two males? They get along. Because it's important to have a solid pack structure, pack hierarchy that's developed, and that's what I have in my pack. Everybody knows their place. with that being said, even though everybody knows their place, it's a dynamic structure because it's constantly changing. This little pit bull, she's gonna try to, and as well, the Cane Corso puppy Lucia, they're constantly trying to rise up in the pack hierarchy. So they're constantly testing it. So, but yeah, anyways, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go. It's a Sunday. The clock has turned back today. Daylight savings time. Yes, my tugs. So, got an extra hour. Hope you're having a good day. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you on the next one. Hey, baby boy. Ozzy. Where's your papa? Ozzy. Where's Dolce? Let's go see. Let's go see her. Let's go see Dolce. Where is she? She's sleeping. She's waiting for her food. Come on, Papa. Pretty girl. Yes, my pretty girl. Gypsy. Gypsy. Lucia.